The pec release is a great exercise to break up some tension in that chest region, especially after you've been hunched over a little bit on the bike in your arrow position for a little while. So the first key is you can use a trigger point ball or a lacrosse ball or even the edge of a foam roller. And you want to put that device right on that pec attachment on the muscle belly a little bit as well. And then you're just working through a full range of motion. So right here you can just be sending the arm down to your side, up overhead. And then you can also do a variation where you're bending that elbow and doing more of a wall angel type motion. So think about what we do on the wall in our warm-up sometime. Same positioning with the ball. You're just reaching up overhead and then bending that elbow to get down to the side. Do about 30 seconds on each side with this movement or until you feel some sort of change. It doesn't have to really be time-based. You just want to feel a positive change in that range of motion. For the shoulder circles, we want to counterbalance all that potential rounding you may have experienced and all that pressure you experience on the anterior portion of your shoulders during the bike class or during your ride. So send the thumbs back. You're going to make circles with your thumbs pointed back for 10 reps. Then point your thumbs forward and complete circles for 10 reps. The whole time focus on having a pinch in your shoulder blades, your chest up nice and proud. All right, and we want to counterbalance everything that we just experienced in the bike class. The next move is a simple T-spine rotation. Use a block, a pillow, or even a foam roller to prop your head up on. Knees are bent at a 90-degree angle and you're laying to your side. Then you're just rotating that off shoulder down to the ground, trying to get there without any pain or discomfort. That lower back is staying relatively straight. As you can see, my low back stays in that straight line. It's more the thoracic spine that is getting the mobility. Do about 20 to 30 reps per side, and then you're going to go into a Brettzel stretch. So this one, if you can, you're going to grab that bottom leg foot, so you're getting a little bit of a quad and hip stretch here. The other leg stays bent in that 90-degree angle, and then you're just sitting back, allowing those shoulders to drop, and you're just resting there and hold. Hold this stretch for a few minutes. If you can't comfortably grab that bottom foot, just have that knee bent in the 90-degree angle and try to rest there in that position. Or you can even straighten that bottom leg out, keeping the top leg in that 90-degree angle. Hold here, breathe nice and steady. That's the key. Breathe easy, breathe in control. This next one is just your traditional Piriformis stretch. I like to start in that down dog position before swinging my foot forward and getting into the Piriformis stretch. I feel like it just releases a little bit more when I do so. Focus on knee and ankle down. Hips are even. You don't want to have one hip rotating open. And you want to be in control with no pain. You want to feel a stretch in that hip. You want to feel a good stretch, breathing control, but you do not want to feel pain in your knee. If you feel any pain in your knee, drop your foot back towards your back knee a little bit more. And that should relieve that tension a little bit. If you still can't get rid of the tension, reset and start over. There's a few main positions you can hold for this movement. You can either be on your hands with your chest up nice and proud. If you feel like you're not quite getting a deep enough stretch there, you can go down to your forearms. And then if you still want a slightly even deeper stretch, try to walk those hands away from your head. So you're trying to lengthen out that you're trying to get that chest to the ground. Again, we don't want any sort of pain in the knee itself. You should feel the stretch in your hip, but there should be no tension in that knee. Change your foot position if you need to, if you're feeling that tension. And if you still are, reset, start over, and try to find a slightly better position. Hips should always be in line. Breathing controlled. Do not hang on to that breath for too long. For this one, you can hold for a few minutes, again, until you notice some change in your mobility or that tension that you're feeling. The next stretch is a little more dynamic. It's called a 90-90 stretch. You're going to start with both knee joints in a 90-degree angle, and one knee is backed up to that other heel. Then you're just going to rotate your hips through a full range of motion, so you're getting a little bit of circular range of motion here. Going side to side in control. You're sitting on the ground the whole time, and the big key is for you to not round your back too much during the movement. Try to glide back and forth, breathe steady, and just do a light touch to the ground, and then return. For the frog stretch, start with your knees on the ground, ankles turned out to the side, and you want those knees stacked right under the hips. Then you're going to rock back, sending your weight back into the hips, pause for a few breaths, and then release. Do about 5 to 10 rockbacks before you go into just a complete hold in this position. The rockbacks will help you get through a little more range of motion, get a feel for the exercise, and then after your 5 to 10 rockbacks, you're going to sit back and hold anywhere from 30 seconds to a few minutes. As you're holding, if you want to, you can drop down to your forearms. Just try to keep that back nice and straight and really allow your weight to sit back in those hips and try to increase that range of motion over time. The next move is the iron cross. Start laying flat on the ground, arms out wide for support, legs out straight. Then you're going to reach one leg up into a hamstring stretch, trying to point the toes toward your face before dropping that leg down to the opposite hand, trying to get a nice stretch in that hamstring first, so break it into two movements. Hamstring stretch first, then a nice little T-spine rotation after that. Focus on keeping the toes engaged, so keep those quads engaged. Reach out to the side, light tap to the ground, back all the way up to the top of that hamstring stretch before releasing down. Over time, as you get through more of a range of motion, try to straighten the legs out even more, deepening that stretch, but again, no pain. You should always be able to breathe nice and steady. Targeting the shoulders and the thoracic spine one more time, you're going to start in a position where you're on all fours, knees stacked under the hips, hands under the shoulders. Then you're going to reach one arm out across underneath the body, slight bend in that elbow that's helping stabilize, and then reach up as tall as you can to the ceiling. Eyes follow your hand, getting a little bit of thoracic spine mobility in there as well. So reach across, nice little twist, reach up tall, eyes follow the hand the whole time. Take it slow and steady, doing about 10 to 20 reps per side and breathing nice and steady the whole time. Our last move targets the hips and the hamstring to finish it out. Start in a Spiderman position with the back knee down. You should feel a nice stretch in that back hip. Hands are on the inside of your front foot. After holding for about 30 seconds, then you're going to rock back and feel a hamstring stretch in your front leg. Try to grab the toe, pulling the toe gently towards your body, feeling that stretch in the hamstring. You can do anywhere from 10 to 20 pulls. Again, nothing painful. It should just be a nice dynamic stretch. If you feel like you need to hold that hamstring stretch a little bit longer or just do a complete static hold, that's totally fine. Work through that range of motion, feeling the stretch in your hip, then gliding back to that hamstring stretch.